Ladies and gentlemen, once again, please welcome our Mistress of Ceremonies, Martha McCallum.
Good evening once again, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed your dinner. And we're going to continue now with the introduction portion of the education segment this evening. And I want to start by introducing the American Australian Association. Pleased to introduce Association alum Nick Shackle, who is currently researching liver cancer at Sydney University. Please give him a warm welcome.
Dear ladies and gentlemen and honourable guests, I would like to extend a special thank you to the American Australian Association for the opportunity to speak to you today. It is 13 years after I attended this dinner as one of the first recipients of the American Australian Association's Education Fellowship. I can honestly say what a 13 years it has been. At Duke University, I studied the mechanisms by which liver injury develops. Liver injury develops as to what you all know commonly as the scar in the liver or cirrhosis. This is a pre-malignant condition which results in liver cancer. Is this important? Of course it is. Globally, liver cirrhosis is within the top leading causes of death globally. And liver cancer is the third most common cause of cancer deaths. Also, liver cancer has an abysmal survival rate. At Duke University, I was passionate and confident about my research. Importantly, I had my own ideas. After being awarded the American Australian Association Fellowship, I went back to a delighted and supportive laboratory head. Since then, I've progressed. I'm now an associate professor at the University of Sydney and a senior clinical specialist at the Australian National Liver Transplant Unit located at Royal Prince Alfred Hospital, which is the premier academic hospital within Australia. As a clinician, I treat all types of liver disease with every conceivable therapy, including liver transplantation. Additionally, I run a group of 10 researchers at the Centenary Institute, which is nestled between the hospital and Sydney University. It has taken a long time to get to this point. My group has made an important and new discovery. We have uncovered a basic mechanism of inflammation which influences all inflammatory diseases and liver disease in particular. We believe our findings will lead to a new class of therapeutic agents that have previously not been identified. My group is making significant contributions to move us closer to individualised and personalised medicine. This concept is where an individual will come to a clinician such as myself and the therapy will be directed not due to an algorithm, but based on their individual requirements. Furthermore, we believe we can now predict disease much better and hopefully will avoid the development of cirrhosis and liver cancer in the future. The future is bright, and we believe our basic ideas will test and change the way we undertake clinical practice. We are focused on the translation of basic research into clinical management. The burning question I'm sure you're all asking is, how did the Education Scholarship make a difference? It gave me the freedom to do independent research, without which I could not have pursued my own ideas. The freedom was invaluable, and I consider it pivotal to the development of the ideas my laboratory is now pursuing. I am forever grateful to the Australian American Association for the support it has provided me. My group has found a niche and is competitive internationally. I now hope that some of my bright, young and passionate PhD students will eventually become the recipients of the support of the American Australian Association. Thank you.
Now please welcome to the stage the 2014 Morgan Stanley Pediatrics Fellow, Candice Varson from the University of New South Wales, currently doing research on autism at Harvard Medical School.
Good evening. I'm incredibly humbled to be here and to be able to address this audience this evening and offer my sincere gratitude to the American Australian Association and Morgan Stanley for the really incredible opportunity to be here conducting research at the world-leading Harvard Medical School and Boston Children's Hospital. It feels like a far cry from the small town of Byron Bay where I grew up. So 1 in 68 children have an autism spectrum disorder, and this rate is increasing. This is a significant number of children that are affected around the world. This means that 1 in 68 children experience difficulties interacting with other people. They struggle to develop language and communicate with others. They have difficulties with motor coordination, attention, and physical health problems. For every one of those children diagnosed is a family who endures considerable stress and worry about their child's development, whether they'll be able to attend school or obtain a job or live independently. Autism is a disorder of brain development. Within the first 2 years of life, our brains are rapidly developing, allowing us a critical period to intervene to place a child on a more typical developmental trajectory. Without doubt, early intervention within the first 2 years of life is a child's best hope for the future. But at the moment, we're unable to diagnose autism until around 3 years of age, at best, with most children not receiving diagnoses until much later in life. Over the next year, I'll be working with the world's leading neuroscientists, engineers, neurologists, and pediatricians to develop non-invasive brain imaging techniques that will allow us to identify autism well before the age of 2. Our goal is to be able to identify autism very early in life so that we can intervene earlier than is currently possible. The strengthening of networks, collaborations, and partnerships between leading researchers and hospitals in Australia and America places us in the best possible position to bring about real-world change for children with developmental disorders. Our hope is that autism will no longer be considered a lifelong disorder. I'm indebted to the AAA and Morgan Stanley for contributing to making this research a reality and supporting us in working towards this goal. Thank you.
Amazing, right? Remarkable. Now please welcome to the stage the 2014 ConocoPhillips Fellow, Matthew Deed Pinson, from the Australian National University, currently doing research on granular physics at the University of Chicago. Matthew Pinson. Welcome, congratulations.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, I'd like to sincerely thank ConocoPhillips and the Australian American Association for making my research at the University of Chicago possible. If you have ever built sandcastles on Bondi Beach, then you've already seen some of the creations we can make from granular materials. And if you've ever knocked down your sibling's sandcastle, then you've seen how vulnerable these systems are to the very smallest of perturbations. My collaborators in Chicago have invented a device known as the Universal Jamming Gripper. It works by taking advantage of the ability of a granular material to flow like a liquid and conform itself to the shape of a target object. A small pressure applied to the gripper then turns it rigid, and it's able to lift and transport the object. YouTube fans can look up the Universal Jamming Gripper to see it throwing darts and shooting hoops. Now, the gripper relies on the property that granular materials are so finely balanced between liquid and solid, but these materials have many other interesting properties. And the goal of my research is to understand these properties better in the hope that they'll enable more flexible control of this gripper and other soft robotic devices. Of course, as a physicist, I don't want to limit my research to just one application. Granular materials are found all over the world: desert sands, wheat in silos, pharmaceuticals, even nuclear reactor fuel. It's my hope that this century will bring us much progress in understanding these materials and then using them in technology as the 20th century did for crystalline solids like silicon. Thanks to your support, I now have the chance to play my part in making that happen.
All right, now let's welcome to the stage the 2014 Westfield Fellow Amy Chandran from the University of Technology, Sydney. She is currently doing research studying public policy at the Harvard Kennedy School. Welcome, Amy. Good to have you here.
It's a great privilege to be able to thank the American Australian Association, and in particular Mr. Lowy and Westfield, for your generous support. Thank you. When I told my mum I was awarded the Westfield Fellowship, her first response was to ask whether it had anything to do with how much shopping I've done there in my life. But I assured her it did not. Most of you are incredibly familiar with the importance of having good information about the returns on your investment. Imagine if government was able to generate the same kind of information about the return on its social spending. Imagine the potential for improving the effectiveness and sustainability of social policy. This fellowship is allowing me to research how governments can more rigorously test and measure policy outcomes, as well as incorporate innovations from the emerging fields of behavioural insights and big data to strengthen policy making. It is my hope that it will uncover ways to enhance the efficacy of government spending and ultimately improve the lives of those who these policies are designed to serve. 2 months in, and I'm very much in love with this fine country called America. Whether it's New England's fall foliage or waiting till the 7th stretch at the baseball game to sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game," I promise I have been doing some study. America has terrifically exceeded all my expectations. And I cannot think of a better place to be studying, doing my research, than at the Harvard Kennedy School of Government. There, I'm conducting research with a group of peers about how big data might be used to help cities be more responsive to the communities they serve. The Behavioural Insights Study Group that I'm a part of is looking at how policies can be structured to help people make better choices through nudges. For example, among Harvard's team, there are experiments being done about whether New York's policy of putting calorie labels on restaurant foods has any impact on the choices about how much adults choose to consume. I'm sure we're all glad that the organisers of tonight's event left the calories off for the chocolate parfait dessert on the menu. Being at the Harvard Kennedy School, I'm able to be both a part of this research that's happening at the cutting edge of these fields, and also to see how it is being implemented by governments around the world who are making policies. It is my hope that this research will not only foster evidence-based policy making, but also increase the ability and willingness of private funders to invest in social projects. Indeed, this research will make it possible to understand the way that investments, like those many of you are already making, are creating differences in people's lives. Thank you very much for your generosity, for your time and your support. Thank you.
Congratulations to all of them. Remarkable research that they're doing, and how wonderful that all of you have made a contribution that has made that possible. It's really inspiring to see and listen to all of the things that you are researching, and makes me feel like I didn't do enough in college. But anyway, such as it is. All right, so thank you very much to the four of you. Stay right there. So now we want to welcome to the stage the 2014 Australia to US Fellows, and they will come up onto the stage, and we will greet them with our warm applause and introduce each one of them. Okay, Aaron Cooper, the Ausart Fellow. Jonathan Swan, APSA, American Political Science Association. Ron Tidar, Bechtel Fellow. Alexander Smith, Folkestone Fellow. Angela Leck, Merck Foundation Fellow. Michael Bergen, University of Queensland Fellow. Let's give a warm welcome to them. Congratulations to you all. Wonderful achievement. And now let's give another warm welcome to the following students who are the Sir Keith Murdoch Fellows this evening. Teresa Bonello. Claire Gordon. Morgan James. Ooh, got a big fan club out there, Morgan. Alexis Witten. Maggie O'Hare. And let's make some room at the end there for Adam Sirwal. Congratulations to all of you and the bright futures that lay before you. Thank you so much for being here tonight, to all of the fellows this evening. So now it is time to enjoy your dessert, and let's give them one more round of applause for these remarkable young people. Enjoy your dessert, and the rest of the program will continue right after dessert.